Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, beautiful ones, beloved ones, grand rising. So I'm out here this morning. Excuse me for the background of the traffic, but I'm on my patio. Again, I am on my patio, and as I was spending time with my plant babies, I started to get a spiritual download, and so I wanted to do this recording. I thought to go live, but then I didn't want to go live. But this is my morning view. Every morning, I come out here and I find peace within myself. I listen to the birds sing. I give gratitude. I watch the sunrise, and I begin again. I begin the journey called healing. I begin the journey called life. And I look at the growth. These babies are growing. I look at the detail. I look at the differences. I look at the similarities. I'm learning about what works, what does not work. I'm learning about good companionship. I'm learning that everybody likes strawberries. It's a lot of stuff going down in here. And what you see on top of my flowers is natural organics like cinnamon and different things like that to keep away some of those things that like to eat what we like to eat. Back here, we have some lettuce. She's been with me for the past 2 years. Glad I did not dig her out because she wasn't finished with life. Sometimes we throw away stuff before it's done. That's a word for somebody already. Sometimes we throw away things and dig it out before it's done. And at the bottom down there, we have collards, kale, peppers, tomatoes, cabbage, and some purple lettuce, I believe. So that's the garden. So I wanted to come on, and then this is my grandmother's chair. May she continue to rest in power. So on the patio, we hear the birds singing. It's a beautiful morning. I'm going to go back over to the roses because I have something to share. So as I was pruning these roses, I began to cut away at what appeared to no longer have life left. And I thought it was taken away from the beauty a little bit. So I began to prune and cut away at what no longer was matching the energy over here, so to speak. As I cut away, I noticed, well, I cut away for two reasons. One, I wanted to cut away to see what happens. This is my first year with the rose bush, to see what happens when you prune the roses, the growth process. I wanted to see what happens. So it's a little experiment I'm doing. But also, as I cut away, I thought to myself, I'll make some rose water. I'll do something with what still had life, although they no longer had a position here. They still had life here. And how I know, because it's still nice and green. I've seen some insects feeding off of it, still utilizing it for what it's for them, for us, the beauty of nature. Everybody's getting along and still using what is no longer connected here. Let's do that again. They still have life, even though they don't match what's going on over here, and they're no longer connected here. These are still being fed and feeding. These are still being fed and feeding, even though they disconnect. Come on now, that's a word right there. Sometimes in life, that's how it happens. Sometimes we got to disconnect from a situation that we just don't blend in anymore. Even though the situation is still beautiful, it's still life there, it's still amazing, it's still more than one, it's still energy going on here. Sometimes we have to disconnect. And as I cut, I didn't cut all at the same time, or prune. I didn't prune them all at the same time. I pruned one by one. So as one left here, it traveled there. I took another one that matched over here, and then it had to leave from over there because it matched over here. Both places are still being fed. It's still being fed over here, and it's still being fed over here. And nobody's complaining. Sometimes we have to grow, and in order to grow, we have to remove ourselves, or sometimes we'll be removed. Sometimes we have to go where it is that we glow and we continue to grow, even with the disconnect. I want you to let this story serve you. Feed on it, eat on it spiritually, and understand that sometimes we have to be disconnected so we can go where it is that we grow, so that we can glow like this glorious morning. Have an amazing, amazing day on purpose and purpose. And continue to be all that you can be, because guess what, baby? Can't nobody do you like you. Sending lots of peace, love, light, and healing energy to whoever get this.